going on, YouTube? I'm your host, Gym Slasher, aka CJ3, back at it again. Appreciate you. Could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. Gym PEEVE, wearing sandals and slides. We're gonna get right into this. Again, Happy New Year. Getting into that new year. So really getting into the gym and the fitness journeys that a lot of Americans, a lot of people around the world, it's one of the most popular goals in terms of New Year's resolutions. Gym and working out, fitness is usually that top 3, top 5 picks and stuff, outside of saving money and being a better person, things like that. Usually always up there. So I haven't done a gym PEEVE in a while. It's been quite some time, so I wanted to jump into that. Again, like I said, previous videos, look for some just different things that I'm going to be diving into for the 2026. Really continue to push my YouTube channels and everything like that. Just really want to kind of get that going and kind of delve into other things. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be still the same kind of formats and stuff, but just with a little bit more expansion on that. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, comment. Let's just get it buzzing. Without being said, let's get right into it. So my gym PEEVE, right? These are not, the PEEVE is it annoys me. It's bothersome, but it is what it is. I have no intentions in terms of going up to someone outside of, unless there's something really egregious, but it's just some of my annoyances when I'm at the gym. I've been working out at a public gym since post collegiate, post professional levels and being in locker rooms. So I've been there for quite some time. So I've seen and things over the years that I just, shake my head on, or, can't get my brain off of, just being absolutely annoyed by them. And so finally having this platform really kind of puts those things where I can put them out and share those thoughts and see if anybody else see the same thing that I'm seeing, or maybe I'm completely off, or it's not a big deal. Perspectives is always a pretty good thing. And I try to put things in perspective as much as I can. But sandals, slides, Crocs, while working out, not coming into the gym and you got shoes in your hand and stuff like that, or you got it into your locker. I understand that and stuff. And I do also understand when we're people that do deadlifts or squats and they do barefoot. I also understand that there is some, that I see why it works, or the benefit of it, I should say. I know why it does work, and I do know the benefits. And if you don't know, I can explain that really quick. So the premise behind barefoot deadlifts, barefoot squats, is because it helps the tendons. And there's more to this. I don't want to get lengthy because that's not where I'm going at with this one. But the toes, the feet have multiple tendons, have multiple small bones, small muscles. So being barefoot and your feet are planted, and as the pressure, the gravity, and your point coming down and going up, those are being activated. When you put shoes on, it minimalize some of those tendons, some of those muscles that's in your feet, and now they're transferred to the sole of the shoe, and you can be unproportioned or positioned wrong because the shoe is actually too comfortable. So it can lead to your feet being more inside. This only outside of your feet are getting a lot of the load. There's not as much balance. So, and then also it affects the tendon. I can't do that with my hands, but which means your Achilles. It's just the strength, more so, and the health part of it, of that balance of feet. So of bare feet, usually socks. At least people got socks on. But that's the premise of when you see somebody in socks doing squats, deadlifts, it's usually those two that they want to get that strength into their tendons, into their ankles, Achilles. It's a health thing when you have shoes that are geared to that are geared for squats, that are geared for deadlifts, leg lifts. The shoe is really good. That's most of your shoes. If you use the high quality ones, they're really good at giving you that stability. But some would argue that it's too good, and then so when you're barefoot, you don't have you don't get the same effect with the shoes as you would if you're barefoot. So be that as it may, that's more or less what it is. I'm talking about walking around, actually lifting and working out in slides, in Crocs, in sandals. That is such a peeve of mine, because to me, it just kind of puts you in, more often than not, what comes with that attire is usually you're just the body language. And I think that's more so what bothers me, is in addition to the slides or the Crocs, is the body language that you come into the gym with. It's almost as if you don't want to be there, but you're there, and you kind of just going through the motions, and you're just going to get a little workout, and you're not putting the same energy that you should be putting, because you're not even in the right mindset. You probably just got up, same clothes. It's usually people that got sweatpants, old sweatpants and old shirt, and they just got up. All right, let me just go ahead and get to the gym. And mind you, I'm glad that you are in the gym. So that's why it's a peeve of mine. Again, you're here, you're in the gym, you're working out. But sometimes, as me, as a competitor, as a trainer, as someone who loves working out, as someone who respects the gym and gym etiquette, right? When I see somebody like that coming into my world, my gym, and I don't mean my gym as in like that's mine, but I'm here, you're a paying customer, I'm a paying customer. We're equal in that regard. But you're coming into this space that I respect in terms of fitness and working out and taking this serious, enjoying it. You can have fun and laugh and have a good time, but respect the gym. Like, respect it. And that's not, when I see that, I'm like, you're kind of like going through the motions, and it's like, more often than not, 9 times out of 10, you have a really lackadaisical workout. I don't really see, and I haven't, to be perfectly honest. I'm not saying that it don't exist. I just haven't seen it, is what I'm saying. I haven't seen someone who's in slides, someone that's in Crocs, someone that's in whatever else, non-shoes, non-athletic shoe attire, go in there and just absolutely rip it, just killing the gym, just day in, day out. Not somebody who, now I've seen someone who, I've seen a couple of people that forgot their shoes. They got their equipment, they got the bag, and they totally forgot to put their shoes in their bag, and now they're just coming in to work out. I've seen that, but I know, and it was people that I knew. So I'm like, I immediately point, I'm like, what? Because I had my headphones in, they had theirs in, and I literally looked and pointed to their like, and they just put their head down, and they're like, I forgot them, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm saying, like, dang, because I literally said, I hope you're not trying to be one of them that they're like, nah, but yeah, I just forgot my shoes, and da da da. So I am a bit of a, snob on that, but that was somebody that I knew, and I was joking with them, but I see that happening. But outside of that, usually 9 times out of 10, and like I said, what I've seen is usually they have telling it. I don't want to use any curse words on here, out of respect, but they usually have button it. They're just kind of haphazard, and when that happens, you can run into injuring yourself. A dumbbell falling on you, or falling on your feet. You could get a broken toe. You could do that with gym shoes. It can happen, absolutely. But you're not giving yourself any margin for error when you're in slides, or Crocs can help a little bit more just because of the rubber that's over it. But you don't have any stability, and you don't have any balance. And even if you're doing upper body, contrary to belief, you still need to have a proper balance about you. There is still weight distribution that's happening, even when you're doing curls, even when you're doing bench, even when you're doing lateral pull downs. There's still you still have to have solid position when you're doing that, and when you're in slides and some of these in these non-athletic shoe apparel, you're putting yourself in a disadvantage. That's similar to playing, like, I'm a coach. Like I said before, I'm a trainer. But when I was coaching basketball, the kids would run out. That was a hard rule that I did not play with. Do not go in this court with slides, Crocs, whatever else that you got, sandals, and trying to warm up, or pretending like you're playing around and stuff. I've seen the injuries happen. The tore ACLs, the tore ankles because they're in slides, the twisted ankles before a game. I've seen it in the basketball tournament about a year ago. Actually, it was a year ago. 2024. I forgot. We're in 2026 now. So it was actually 2024, not 2025. So kid was messing around, playing around between games. It was a basketball tournament, and when they called timeout, every kid want to run on the court and shoot before the next. Actually, it was halftime, and kids are just shooting and doing all that. So a kid trying to cross over another kid, and he was one of them cool kids, and he's got all the basketball attire that's going on and all that, and he just trying to be cool, and all that, and he was up until that point, and he tried to cross over, and his leg split from under him, so he almost like did a split, tore his groin. His game, we were in the semifinals. Their game was going into the finals because it was Sunday. It was a Sunday game. So they were already in the finals. We were in the second bracket going to go, if we win, we was going to go into the finals. He split his leg, and he wasn't going against this team. His team was an older team. We were a younger team. So we weren't even going to go against them. We was just there waiting for our game. But he split his leg, pulled his groin. I mean, bad too. You see him limping. He tried to, cover it up, try to act like nothing was going on and all that. And he jogged off, with that limp, and all that group was coming over. Man, you all right? You all right? Oh, yeah. And I usually, after our games and stuff like that, we usually take off and all that. But my coaching mind, my training mind, I was very much intrigued to see how he was going to explain this to his coach and how his coach was going to react to that. And wasn't happy. The coach was not happy. He didn't play in that game. They ended up losing because it just took the whole morale out of the team. That was their best player. He was one of the best players in the gym. But I got on my team and pointed that out, and because they seen it. And I said, that's why I tell you guys, when you guys get on this court, put your shoes on, put your basketball shoes on. Do not play around with those Crocs. Do not play around with those slides. Now you just seen why I was telling you guys to do it. Now, could it be a freak accident? Yes. Could you have basketball apparel on and have all your stuff and still injure? Yes. But we can understand that. That comes part of the game when you're playing. That happens, but you're not giving yourself of any kind of wiggle room when you're in slides and doing all that. And the way you come down, sometimes those slides come up, and depending on how much of wear and tear, they can. If this is your foot and this is the slide, right? Sometimes when you jump, the slide over just off of gravity or just pull slightly. So then sometimes if you jump and you come back down, you can land halfway off your heel and on the floor. Now that may not seem that bad, but then that can also mess with your sciatic nerve because your heel then tilts down, which tilts the waist, tilts your tailbone, because it's kind of like this. And if your heel, it shifts it up, and you may feel a little discomfort early, but then it gets worse later on. So I could get into the detail of how you can risk injury. Now back to the gym. It's the same stuff. If you're coming in and wearing slides and sandals, you're just not in the right mindset of lifting. You're not in the mindset of safety and comfort and making sure you have good balance. And you're just in there going through the motions. I don't see a whole lot of gym goers, gym enthusiasts, really elite gym people going in with slides and being productive. It's very counterproductive. It just puts the wrong mindset in. So with that being said, for those who think that's cool to where don't, please put some shoes on. It's just a peeve of mine. I know it's still going to happen, and people are going to have their say of why they're doing it. And outside of, hey, I can't afford any shoes, I get all that. I came for this. I'm just glad I'm just there. I understand that and I respect it. It's just an annoyance of mine. Respect the space. That's where I'm at. I think that's the totality of it. Just respect the space and put some energy into while you're working out. I'm glad you're there in the gym. I'm glad you're putting in some work, but you're doing yourself a disservice when you're going through the motions because you're already in slide mode. Your body's in relaxed mode. It's not in intense mode. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Hit the like and subscribe. Comment. Tell me what y'all think. What some of y'all peeves or anything like that I can elaborate on and see what common bonds we have on that. So who are you? What is your mission? I am your host, CJ3, the Gym Slasher. Appreciate you guys. Peace.